Welcome into week 5, round 1 of season 22 of Cosmic Crucible. Matched up against Praetorian. It's an alliance mate for round 1. Uh, gonna also show defense moving forward. Hopefully the timing works out because sometimes I record these after I've attacked. But what do we got? We got Starjammers with Lalandra, which is interesting because I'm not sure what he's gonna do against my Exalted. So I'm curious to find out. Full Daring Warriors, which I was worried about now with the diamonds, so we'll see if I can figure out a good one-shot here. This is probably the roam I'm worried about the most. I have some ideas what I can do here, but we'll see, because Magneto and Breaker having a coin flip can be really, really bad, because if he goes first, he'll remove whatever pre-taunt I have, so this guy can triple trauma ability block basically anyone, so that's pretty spicy, plus Executioner. So this one is going to be very interesting. We could get sneaky with it, because the ability blocks, well, let's see. Nah, lots of Raiders. The thing I have going for me though is that this guy is a striker, so he's gonna eat all the ice, not ice hits, the mind controls. So he's gonna like die before I even get to him, which is interesting. I'll have to do some sanity checking with damage, but I'm pretty sure Striker Omega Red is the highest damage here. Symbiotes, Annihilus, and Thanos with slightly beneficial positioning for me because Thanos is only energizing Annihilus, and that means I can triple hit here. I'm stubborn, so I'm going to try to one-shot this again. We'll see if it backfires. Exalted Blue Marvel, so we'll see if my potential one-shot from last week's theory crafting is legit or not. Also, we'll find out if Mephisto is fixed. And then finally, Mephisto with New Mutants. Not too worried about this one, but we'll see how that goes as well. So yeah, some interesting things on defense. I also have a somewhat different offense this time around, so I have more things to play with, but also those things are a little behind the meta. So we'll see if they can still we'll see if we can win. Let's just put it that way. So let's get into it. Okay, so stage 1. This is full Starjammers. A little surprised that Lalandra was here because that means Praetorian isn't trying to have an available one-shot against Exalted, at least not one that I'm aware of, so who knows. But I don't have vanilla Exalted, so it's kind of irrelevant. But otherwise, I mean, this is kind of a standard comp. I just threw Breaker in here as well because I had him left over. You'll see why, because usually his and my Annihilus counter. So, yeah, Breaker goes first here. Positioning here is kind of bad for Starjammers because this let me just ability block trauma disrupt 3 people just because of positioning. So, you know, Nova in a corner is just going to be better in general. Tanks not in corners is good when you're expecting a lot of like chains where, you know, if someone goes just to the left or just to the right, then, you know, you can take less damage, but in this case it doesn't really matter. Still do the Sable hit. Breaker just destroyed Havoc there because of the unstable anomaly. Blastar goes in, does a special. I mean, this Starjammers just don't hold up anymore for their stats, so you can just kind of press your buttons and they go, and everything just falls over. So, not a very interesting fight, but you know, Starjammers do have the benefit of, you know, they still take something that stops speed bar and speed stats. So if you are kind of turtled and kind of taxing your enemy in a lot of other places, then, you know, maybe they run out of options here. But yeah, Starjammers are very much kind of a dead team. Even I pulled them to offense just to have Howard and Havoc for some testing. But still, I mean, I had a lot left over, so this is kind of overkill, and it shows. Alright, moving on to stage 2, and this is kind of why we lost this round, because I took a pretty big gamble hoping that this team could take Daring Warriors, and the reason why is because they actually have a lot of unblockable attacks, and you know, most things that kill Daring Warriors are because of that, because you do so much damage to them that they can't mitigate before they really get a chance to get going, that, you know, they just kind of fall apart. So this one will work next week because it's actually close. But right now he's too small. He doesn't do enough damage, and also his decay gets resist checked. On this second hit, I even had him as a skirmisher, and he still failed to remove the defense up from a lot of people. So that also meant a lot less damage going into them. The other thing is, Speedball says he stops passive assist chance, not assist now, but he still stops assist now as well. So you're not getting the toxin combo. So unfortunately I can't show this replay because it's going to hit anomaly detected, but yeah, basically what happened for this one is I all-in Thrasher, and he barely didn't die because he kept his defense up, and you know, he's 5 diamonds, so we're hitting a pretty large team here. But yeah, it wasn't enough. It would have been fine basically next week. So yeah, basically I kind of lost here. Praetorian dropped 1, but he was also very efficient, so I had to one-shot everything. Now I tried this one again, and this time I brought in Shadow King just to see if that changes anything. As you can see, it changed a little, but was also not great. So luckily this replay works. Curious what they changed that would break the other way. So anyway, boop. So, oh, and the other thing to mention is a lot of the survivability on Symbiotes comes from Barrier, which Toxin on spawn gives a bunch of Barrier, and then when people go under 50%, he also gives them Barrier and a bunch of stuff. And these folks here prevent Barrier. Let's see, whose kit actually is it on? I forget. It's on Thrasher. Oops. Let's see. Nope. Is it? No, it's not here. Maybe it's Eclipse. He's gonna revive. Nope. Speedball. Yeah, Speedball. Okay, so it's on Speedball. So if he dies, you can get Barrier. So maybe he's the one you want to always kill first, because then you can potentially rebalance your team. I generally like killing him first anyway, because when he gets to give everyone speed up, then your team can get lapped. You also stop Barrier on them, which is good, which is on Quicksilver, but again, this is just me kind of getting stat checked. So anyway, you'll see Quicksilver here does his ultimate, which is meant to decay everything. But as you can see, like, Speedball, which is a target I really want to kill, keeps his defense up. So did Thrasher. It's it's kind of a mixed bag. So yeah, he's just a little too small right now. Then I did the special on Eclipse for Toxin because it just hits everyone. So I just wanted to hit, I want to prioritize this trio here. It does really good damage actually. So he's pretty good. Although he's probably the one subbed out in the Annihilus team. Eventually. And then I hit Riot. I hit down the whole line because he doesn't do anything extra to anyone, so I just figured I would just spread as many bleeds as I can onto, let's say, Eclipse. And you see even her, like, she's in the yellow, so she took a lot of damage. Like, I think next week with Quicksilver, these two are basically dead at this point from these attacks. Obviously, the Riot and Eclipse is a coin flip, so there's a bit of RNG there, but I feel like this should work next week. But I guess most people won't really have Sinister on offense because he's so good with Annihilus. They're so good with Annihilus. So anyway, then we do the Null Special. Here I figured, you know what, if I can kill Eclipse, if I can survive, that means they're gonna lose a lot of their survivability, so I kind of went with that. Here, did this, just a little extra damage, and then I was hoping that this special would kill her to also get a ping onto this guy, but unfortunately she had just a little bit extra health, so the passive ping went into Eclipse to kill her instead of Speedball. So I think he may have died if I had done a little bit more damage, but I didn't. So at this point you'll see all the damage coming through. Thrasher hurts, like, he hurts a ton, so does Daredevil. See, I'm just already losing people at this point. Like, my Toxin's just gone. Then Speedball, this is good RNG. He picks the weakest character, but now that they get speed up, this kind of starts going very poorly for me. Even Jessica does really bad things. So yeah, I mean, at this point the fight is over. I think if I'd done a tiny bit more damage and just killed the Speedball as well, this would have been very different, because I wouldn't have been getting lapped, but I am, so at this point I've accepted defeat, so I'll let this run out. So yeah, interesting fight, I guess. Pretty sure next week, if you somehow have Symbiotes on offense and a a minor punch up, I think, then this should work, but it doesn't right now. I'm not really going to bother with the cleanup. It's, you know, Eclipse is gone, so there isn't really... sorry, Eclipse is gone and their abilities are gone, so this is just, you know, whatever cleanup. It wasn't a problem at all because she's pretty key to the team doing most of the things that they do. But yeah, I mean, you know, dropping 2 attacks here kind of sucks. And again, I had lost the minute I had to cancel here because I was never going to win efficiency even if I only dropped 1. So moving on to stage 3. So this was a fun one. I was not meant to bring this team in. I was actually meant to Damon this team, but I accidentally brought Damon into a different team because I was originally planning to go. I had Damon here and something else in 6, but I accidentally went with Damon in 6, so I had to kind of use this, which I knew would not be great. Like this wins, but it's just never going to be efficient. So again, if I'm trying for efficiency, this was just not good to do. But either way, it was irrelevant. I had kind of already lost. So the whole concept here is, and I very rarely have Fantastic Four on offense. I immediately put them back on defense again because I don't need them with the way I've set things up moving forward. But yeah, the problem here is primarily Breaker and Magneto are a speed tie. So if Magneto goes first, he'll remove the taunt, which means Breaker can then ability block freely anywhere. So why this is here is, so having a pre-taunt is always good because you don't want, you know, Magneto blasting anywhere. I put Franklin next to him because I assumed he's going to die anyway, and he will have taken his turn. So he's the only one that's okay to die because he will have done what he needs to do. And yeah, sorry, Quasar is here in case I get the bad RNG with Magneto and Breaker so that I don't get ability blocked on my entire team, and, you know, Professor X is just straight up good versus his team. So, we do this, which is some good damage. Oh, and also the ISOs here are not favorable for my opponent, but they are for me. So because Omega Red is the highest damage here, and he has 3 characters that are gonna go before Professor X even takes a turn, they're just going to obliterate this Omega Red. If this guy was a Raider, this would have been very different. Well, I say very different, but it would have been harder for me. But yeah, Executioner went. Oh, and also Mr. Fantastic gives a bunch of barrier to my team, so he's just always good if you want a tank that helps the rest of your team survive, even if they're getting hit by AoE attacks. So yeah, Magneto goes first here, which is the bad RNG for me, which means this guy can hit anywhere. I get good RNG though, in that even if I had forgotten to bring Quasar, he would have just murdered my Mr. Fantastic, but otherwise I don't think he would have one-shot anyone here. I don't know, this guy hits really hard, but I think I would have been fine. But anyway, all I need at this point is this trio, because we do the Quasar special into Omega Red, and as you can see, like, Professor X hasn't even gone yet, and this guy is almost dead. I'm just making sure I do not touch this Phoenix at all beyond the Quasar special here. That's why I like Invisible Woman. I'm just going on Executioner because I only want to hit these 2. So, unfortunately, he manages to do a retaliate before dying, so, you know, knocked away some efficiency. But, I mean, this is basically over. Here, maybe I should have hit Breaker instead of Magneto, because I'm more afraid of Breaker at this point. But he's also a lot squishier, and as you can see, it's not really gonna matter too much because we get to do this to him. He is in a lot of pain. But yeah, see, he's like very survivable, so I think maybe killing him first and then Professor X special on Phoenix and Magneto would have been good, because it would have blinded Magneto. That one doesn't really matter, but it would have ability block blinded Phoenix, so she managed to do her ultimate here, which kind of sucks. But anyway, this is all minor things that can affect the outcome, which in this case it doesn't really, but as you can see, this works just fine. Not efficient at all, but this is, again, this is not what I wanted to do, because I realized this is not going to be efficient. But I just brain farted and took the wrong team in. But anyway, this still works. just not very efficient. If the ISOs were different on Omega Red, this might have gotten spicier because I wouldn't have been able to focus on the Magneto Breaker clump as early, but we'll never know. Okay, stage 4. So this is the main event. So I finally managed to one-shot one of these. The problem is, and this is why I say, like, I have to kind of just stop being really stubborn with trying to one-shot these. I think this is somewhat reliable. Darkstar Diamonds will make it even better if we ever get Jeff Diamonds even more. But as you can see, this is still very dirty. Like, yes, it's a one-shot, but my Annihilus took a bunch of damage, my Gwen barely survived. There's still a lot of RNG to it, and I basically assume that if this guy is above 1 diamond, this immediately falls apart. So any attack that doesn't scale is generally not worth holding, because it puts me in some bad situations where I can't clear, or I drop attacks that they won't because I'm not taxing them in similar ways. So anyway, let's see how this one goes. So the whole concept behind this, I guess, just figure that it is. So I previously tried a Professor X just to get past Riot, so I can immediately hit into Annihilus, but Professor X is too expensive to bring here, and also doesn't really add much other than skipping the pre-taunt. So he's not worth the cost and doesn't meaningfully contribute. So the alternative here is, well, I'll just bring Songbird. She will flip the taunt and give them all offense down, because I'm accepting that I'm just going to eat the Annihilus special. But if he has offense down, then it's not going to hurt as much. Also, Jeff and Gwen have evade, so they they don't get hit by that, and also on their turn, if they still have one of these, it means they are more likely to survive the Annihilus passive ping. So Songbird goes, and Songbird has 95% crit chance. Obviously, that doesn't work with Venom here. I still don't understand though how vulnerables work when crits aren't on the table, because you can still apply vulnerables, so something somewhere is critting, but it's a much lower chance, I guess. Actually, hang on, we can figure this out. So yeah, so it's this. So you don't have a chance to crit, so that part's done. But what you still have is a 50% chance to bonus attack the target for 90 piercing and apply 1 vulnerable. So this is just on hit, not on crit. So I guess having her as a raider only makes her hit less hard, when I think about it now. I don't know that that matters too much, but just something that I just realized. I always expected these crit vulnerables relied on the ability or this portion critting or something along those lines, but it looks like it's active hit. So yeah, basically any vulnerables you see here are just because there's a 50% chance to just apply one. This applies on every check that a character does. So like, for example, if this said at the start, like, oh, remove all barrier and then attack all enemies, that is 2 chances of 50% to add 1 vulnerable. So anyway, bit of a tangent, but I just realized something, so that's good. So yeah, Annihilus gets to do his special now with the offense down. 2 people dodge it. Songbird will always die. She's just too squishy even at 5 diamonds. But see, even with offense down, like Darkstar is at half health. So is my Annihilus. He's also taking a ping though. Now it's a good thing that there's an ISO here, because we do Striker Annihilus in this case, because he will lose 2 more damage this way. And we also have his Annihilus pretty low now, which is great, because his is 1 diamond, but I've done more permanent damage to him, well, a little bit. Now Jeff goes, clumps them all up. Jeff applies way more vulnerables to people. You see, this guy's got 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. So let's see how many checks his special does. So yeah, clear all barrier, that's 1 check. Pull all enemies 2 spaces, reduce duration. Attack all enemies for 2 piercing, blah blah blah. So yeah, he does at least, I'm guessing this is 1 check. This might be 3 opportunities for vulnerable. It's at least 2 though. So Jeff is good for trying to get vulnerables on people, so that's also good to know. It's also 360% piercing on on a new stat character, and disrupt and defense down and silence. Like this attack will always be good, and it can't be dodged. Not that it matters here, but and the extra focus basically means he's guaranteed to do this. So yeah, this used to be Breaker, who does a shit ton of damage, but Jeff seemed a bit more reliable in terms of just doing more damage to more people, because I accepted that I don't need Breaker to apply an ability block because the Annihilus is going to shake it off with Song going first. Anyway, they take some turns now, which is why this attack is very spicy. Because most of the cast is just not surviving this. Like, as you can see, Null tends to end the whole thing. Now, I got a bit lucky here with a Time Warp. She also barely survives here, so as you can see, this attack is just not reliable, right? Like, if this guy was, if anyone here was a little bit bigger and hit my Annihilus, this is over. So this is what I mean, that this attack is just not reliable. And by reliable, it just doesn't scale. So I think this works up to 1 diamond with, you know, some luck, as you can see. But, you know, if I'm relying on luck to one-shot, then it's really not worth it when I could be using this same team on defense and have my opponent fail to clear, right? Like, that's a pretty big swing. So anyway, at this point, because I have so many insects out, I get to get ahead of his Annihilus. He's also lost his rod, by the way, already. I think that happened on the Jeff attack. So basically, yeah, as long as my Annihilus survives, this is over, but you saw how close he got to not surviving. Because once I do this, the fight is over. So, I don't know, if I get like a diamond on this guy, because he's still 7 red, then maybe I'll still be stubborn and try this again, because this guy is very stat sensitive. And all the things he do rely on how much damage he's doing and how much damage he's taking to keep the rest of the team alive and to kill things before they kill him. He's very stat dependent. So right now at 7 red, my fear is that he's not good enough on offense, but also that he's not going to be good enough on defense, because things that don't work on 1 diamond and above will work on him, because that did happen to me when I tried him on defense a couple of times. But we'll see, maybe the Symbiotes can carry. Alright, here's another good experiment. So there were 3 experiments in this round, like I said. This was one of them, failed. This was the other one, barely worked, but unreliable. And then this is the other one that sort of theory crafted this while recording the last video, if folks watch that, of based on turn order and stat thresholds, I think this team can one-shot, and it can, and I think it's reliable. Terribly inefficient, but a one-shot is a one-shot. So let's look at it. I'm not going to show the whole thing because a lot of it is just, you know, Odin swiping things to death. But the whole concept here is, because this doesn't play out that differently now that Mephisto's fixed, at least, because last week Mephisto was going first here, which is throwing things off. You know, what's going to happen is the usual. Captain Britain here has the highest focus, so Morph is going to hit him. Then Storm is going to do her ultimate, which is going to put out Exposed. And as long as you survive those 2 things, then all you need to do is make sure your Odin doesn't die. So Mephisto is kind of here as a stat stick. I also had him as a skirmisher, just in case he was still bugged, because what happened last week was Blue Marvel goes first, kills Captain Britain, which makes the Laundra the next highest focus, and then Morph would kill her, and then you get exposed, so it was a whole thing. So I made him a skirmisher just in case the bug wasn't fixed, but it is. So, boop, 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 boop. So he's guaranteed to die. Assists are always kind of RNG who they go into, and oh, that's, you can see, like, Morph, he targeted Gladiator, but autopilots to Captain Britain, but the assist will still go into the, like, behind the scenes target, which is why you see that discrepancy. And basically any assist into these guys is bad RNG, because you do not want these people to die. Then Storm goes. At this point, there's no exposed. Like, there's no other source of exposed, so as long as Odin doesn't die, you're safe. So I'm even debating at this point, like, is Mephisto doing anything? Because, yeah, as long as you eat those 2 first attacks, there's no exposed.
So it's kind of interesting. I mean, Mephisto's good for safety. You know, see my Odin is never at risk of dying here. Like, he's eaten all the attacks he's gonna ever eat, and he's still here. So sure, maybe Gladiator would have died here without Mephisto. But I'm questioning now why this attack seems to fail without Mephisto here, because yeah, he's just giving extra health. He's not going to really do anything else. So I'll have to think about this more. But anyway, and then at this point it's over. I guess Mephisto does something useful here, because he takes a turn, he's super beat up, but he specials into Blue Marvel, which does permanent health damage, which is very good versus Blue Marvel. So not useless, but I'm kind of debating his purpose right now. Because I think part of the risk here is also, like, if Blue Marvel doesn't die, he can kill your Odin, because when Odin kills non-Blue Marvel characters, he's going to ping Odin and do permanent damage, and there might be a point where he just can't out-heal the damage because he doesn't have enough health. At this point, I'm just avoiding hitting Angel. I probably should have targeted Blue Marvel here with Gladiator Basic. I do the special here. I got favorable RNG, because again, I'm just avoiding Angel, and the assist here kills Blue Marvel. So I think, yeah, just all in Blue Marvel. I think if you want to make this extra annoying, if you run this in the future, you put Blue Marvel next to Angel, so that you're kind of always forced to hit him, which will heal and flip everything on the X-Men. It's not going to change the fight, but it'll probably make it a little less efficient on top of everything. This one is some bad RNG, because when Odin is stunned, he doesn't get to retaliate. But yeah, Angel hit like a fucking truck here. The reason why they have offense up is because Mephisto's special gives them all offense down, so then Angel flips that into offense up. So I think in the future, the play here is, if bringing Mephisto, which I'm now debating if you even need him, but he's good safety for sure, you should basic, even though it's not going to do as much damage. I'm conflicted now. But it might be Mephisto basic into Blue Marvel, because yeah, the special calls mind control and does permanent damage, but he then kind of heals that up anyway. So anyway, I'm rambling at this point. Stuff to think about. But yeah, Odin gets to use special, and at this point I'm not going to show the rest because there's, 15 more, and this video is going to be very long already. But as you can imagine, it is just the Odin show. These guys take forever to kill because Angel has his thing up. If there was a way to ability block him early to drop vitality, that would be great, but that's not the case. So you could basically picture the rest of the fight is this until they die. So we're gonna move on. And finally, room 6. This is a Daemon Sentry comp against New Mutants Mephisto. I'm not going to show this because you've seen this a billion times. It's a slam dunk. So that was it. As you already know, I lost this round. I dropped 2. My opponent dropped 1. But yeah, we learned some stuff, which is this team, Symbiotes, do not currently take large Daring Warriors. Maybe next week, but I also don't know that people will actually run these guys on offense. So unsuccessful gamble. The other one was here, where we finally one-shot one of these, but it really does not feel worth it. And then this one here, where I'm still not sure if Mephisto's needed or not. He's really good safety, but yeah, something to consider. I do wonder if this can still work with something else here, but I'll have to ponder that. So with that, I'll see you tomorrow for, spoiler, another bad time.
Alright, final score. So Praetorian dropped 1 and was pretty efficient as well. I dropped 2 and was not efficient. I kind of lost the minute I dropped the 1 attack against Daring Warriors, but we had 3 unproven attacks, and 2 of them worked, which is pretty good. It's just 1 of them didn't, so we'll know for next time what we can get away with. It was a bit of a gamble putting Daring Warriors on defense for this week, and then hoping that Symbiotes could take Daring Warriors, because I expected to see more of those with the diamonds now. So the theory works, it's just it doesn't scale yet, so we need the diamonds on Quicksilver because he just doesn't do enough damage to set the rest of the Symbiotes up to get confirmed kills that will let them survive. But it's fine. I flipped around my defense again, so we'll see if I come up with something better for the next round. But otherwise, even though it's a loss, pretty successful in terms of figuring things out. So we'll see if we can turn that into a win next time. See you then.